Apologies for this. Now, normally I've done these part twos because I've enjoyed them because of dinner. This was done by complete accident. I had completely forgotten to discuss this. This Mike Minnelli book, Bowling with Corpses, and other strange tales from the lands the unknown. Yeah, it's a Mike Minnelli book, and like I mentioned the part two that was actually it's part two of the video I just did before, where after this 7 trades left. So yeah, these are a series of stories that came with Mike Minnelli just last year. Yeah, it's not Hellboy. Nope, it's not Hellboy because I think in the case of I'm thinking in the case of Hellboy, I have pretty much covered just about everything. Yeah, this is basically just a kind of like an anthology one-shot. There's been a few of them. I don't think I've covered a few other ones. There's been ones basically that... Now, he has written a few novels. There was one for Baltimore, which I have not read yet. I read the Joe Golden one. This was Fall Agento, and Grim Death in the Bell Execute Criminal. So, in these stories here, in the very first one, Burning with Corpses, is a story set on the kingdom was once Iconian, the kingdom of Gilead. Yeah, basically the whole bowling with corpses thing is basically the corpses come back, and it's of course done in Mike Minnelli's art style. His very popular art style, which love his art style, is mostly put just a kid who just happens to find these bodies, and you probably think, is there actually bowling here? Well, he ends up fighting some monsters, and he runs into a vampire lady, and yeah. Then we have the beginning. According to the library, the ghost of Castle Yars. Yep, it's a ghost story, and it's done in the style of like, it's a brief short story. It's a brief 4-page thing. It's done in the style of like, well, talk about how haunted this castle is, and we have the making of the world, where the story told from the perspective of a crow, and it lasts 2 pages. And then we have Justice Denied, where we have a woman who basically was butt naked and just being chased, who's basically spitting out snakes. It's a story set in some forest, and this one actually is one more slightly longer of a story. I like the other ones, which basically were like a page or like 4 pages. This was actually slightly longer. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages. Wow. At this point, the longest we have here. So then we have Immortality is Dust, which is basically just, it's a lot of really like cruel tales. It's very dark. 1 point finding creatures of a tree. We see the guy getting hanged. They have the old soldier and the king. Yeah, it's a chemical tale. And then we have Order and the Devil. You probably thinking the devil is a Hellboy here? No. This is not Hellboy. This is basically not a sense universe. It's a vampire one. Yeah. Then we have Uncorn the Prince, which is basically told from perspective of then we have a woman who is a monster woman who's butt naked, who's also a bat. Then we have Lands Unknown, which is just more stuff of Castle York. It's basically kind of based on this one, and that's kind of it. There's not a lot of discussion, but The best thing about this book is the artwork. Yep. So this is definitely it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.